Here are some notes from my recent readings on July 11, 2025. From Flux on page 159, I reflected on my professional identity. If I lost my job today, what would it be? And if I could be anything, what would that be? In Atomic Habits on page 259, there's a little lesson from the 4 laws problem phase: cue, craving, response, and reward. For example, if I don't want to start reading, I can use a rumble roller or put on music as a cue. From The Good Life on page 259, it discusses the giddy, talking, and sharing secrets of best friends in high school and college. Notably, 30% of husbands are not satisfied with their number of friends and closeness, compared to 6% of wives. As males transition from teen to young adult, they tend to nurture their male friendships less, while women cultivate their bonds. In Better with Age on page 159, the topic of grandparenting at a later age came up, exemplified by Simone Biles and her sister being adopted by their grandparents. From An Unquiet Mind on page 159, it mentions Another Englishman 4 years later. The key takeaway was the idea of love-focused, or focused love. From Mind Fixers on page 259, there's discussion about moody irritability, insomnia, and the alternate uses of Zyprexa for bipolar disorder. It mentions someone doing so well off Prozac, and a significant decision made in 2004 to bet the farm. In the Adventure Bible on page 194 for July 13th, it refers to Ephesians. Forgive one another as God forgave us. This was illustrated with an anecdote about a grandpa fishing in bait, emphasizing to forgive the sinners and let God take care of it. From The Anthropologist on Mars on page 259, there was a question about what he was reading on the plane to Denver, and which 9-year-old was involved. The book features Temple Grandin as the anthropologist on Mars. In Hallucinations on page 259, concepts like out-of-body experiences, OB, near-death experiences, Bangungot, a sudden nocturnal death syndrome, and even a robot named Zyam are discussed in the context of hallucinations. From The Man Who Mistook His Wife for a Hat on page 259, various types of seizures are explored: petit mal, grand mal, akinetic, and psychomotor. It also touches on how these can be linked to passion, violence, and a creative personality. In Divergent Mind on page 159, the dynamic between doctor, expert, and patient is examined, specifically how patients wanted to be treated. It highlights how early medical practice was male-dominant, often dismissing women as too emotional. From Getting Life Back on page 159, the aim is to prosper, have good health, and peace of mind. It suggests various coping mechanisms: doing what you need to do, gambling, listening to music, reading the Bible, praying, humbling oneself, kneeling, and using a rumble roller. From Collected Schizophrenius on page 159, the powerful statement: loss, injury, grief is human and alive. In ADHDs on page 59, the book discusses a connection to vitamin deficiency. It emphasizes the need to connect and take heart. The author, despite being a slow reader, graduated with high honors in English from Harvard, proving that making a heartfelt connection can sustain you through tough times. From Autism on page 59, it's noted that there's no specific medical test, genetic, blood, or neuroimaging for diagnosis. Instead, DSM and ICD guides are used, focusing on social communication evaluation. In Life Inside My Mind on page 159, the author shares their journey of always getting back up, even if it takes months to recover. Instead of drugs, they turn to art, and I, personally, turn to knowledge. The text recounts a full breakdown at 20 years old, experiencing electric shock sensations, body aches, and stomach problems.